welcome again to my vlog. This is Andy and I'll be capping off my Studying in Australia series with this video. So I already talked about the application process for your postgraduate studies and your scholarship. It's time to discuss your IELTS preparation and your visa application. Ingon akong bana, pwede na ko no mahimong visa agent ani akong gibuhat. Pero actually, I just really want to help out others who also want to experience postgraduate studies abroad. So to start, the IELTS, or the International English Language Testing System, is a global standard test of English proficiency for non-native English language speakers, sama na itong mga Bisaya. There are also other internationally recognized tests such as the TOEFL or the test of English as a foreign language. There are two types of IELTS exams, the academic and the general. Now, the academic is for people who are pursuing higher education or professional registration abroad, while the general is for people who are going to English-speaking countries for secondary education, work experience, or training programs. The usual comments sa mga tao when comparing the both types of exams is that mas lisod gyud ko no ang academic compared to the general. And because I took the academic test, I can only speak about it and the preparations I made for the exam. So if you plan to take an IELTS exam, the first thing that you should do is to book a test. Now, there are two bodies that facilitate the IELTS exam in Cebu, the IDP and the British Council. Now, una dayon akong pangutana when I was about to take the test, asa man ang masayon sa duha? Well, actually, both are part owners of IELTS and their exams are both compiled by the Cambridge English Language Assessment, so you basically get the same test. So once you've decided between the two and you've already chosen a date to take the exam, then you can register online and pay the exam fee of 10,270 pesos, or you can download their application form and submit your requirements and your payments to your local test center, or pwede nimo siya diretso ihatag ang bayad sa inyong review center if you choose to enroll in one. The IELTS has 4 parts: the reading, listening, speaking, and writing, and the highest score for each band or for each part is the score of 9. My highest score unexpectedly was listening, where I got a score of 8.5, Hambugira Light. So in that exam, you'll be listening to 4 recordings and then you'll answer 40 questions based on those recordings afterwards within a time frame of 30 minutes plus a 10-minute transfer time to your answer sheet. So ang akong advice gyud sa listening exam is that you should practice identifying the main points of a conversation or a speech, and dapat paspas gyud ka sa imong note-taking because you can only get to listen to the recording once. Plus, you also have to be familiar with different accents, kay lahi-lahi og accents ang ilahang gamiton sa ilang recordings. Specifically, the British accent, the Australian, Canadian, or pwede sa New Zealand nga accent. The reading exam runs for an hour, wherein you will be given 3 long texts where the 40 questions will be based on. For some people, it would be beneficial to read the questions first before reading the paragraph, so that at least you'd have an idea of the main keywords to look for. Akong advice for the reading exam is to read, and read. Learn to practice speed reading, skimming, and scanning so that you know how to get the general idea of the paragraph quickly. You don't necessarily have to understand the whole paragraph good or the entire text. As long as you get to identify the keywords, it's very important that you get to do that because that would help you in locating the answers. The writing exam, which for most people is the most difficult part, also runs for an hour. So for the academic IELTS, during the writing exam, first you will be asked to explain a diagram or a chart that you're presented with, and the second part is to write an essay in response to an argument. The best advice that I can give for the writing exam is to read the exemplary samples of the written exams katong mga nakakuha og dagko nga grado, because you can search for them online so that at least you would get an idea of how they did it. Usually, the ones that get the highest grades are the essays that are clear and concise. So, wa na'y liko-liko pa, straight to the point gyud siya, but unuran ang iyahang content. Lastly, the speaking exam, which runs from 11 to 14 minutes, has 3 parts. So the first part usually consists of general questions about yourself. So medyo sayon-sayon ra siya. The second part, during the second part, you will have to pick a card where a topic is written, and then you will be asked to speak about the topic for 2 minutes. Now, for the third part, you will be asked follow-up questions on part 2's topic. Ingon sila ha, ato-ato rani nga mas gamay ko no muhatag og grado ang Pinoy nga interviewer kaysa sa foreigner, but ambot chika ra to sa parlor. In my case, foreigner ang ni-interview na ko and I got a score of 8, so basin tinuod, ambot lang. I think nasultian lang sa gid ko nga sayon ang mga questions nga gipangutanan nako. So as far as I could remember, my first question was about the type of footwear that I like. And the second question was, katong the topic that I picked was, it asked me to tell the interviewer about the most memorable conversation I've had. I think swerte lang yun na sa mga questions because naasad ko yung mga kauban nga medyo complicated ang questions, ang topic nga ilang napilian. There were questions like, what do you think is the relevance of colors in advertising? So, ingon na, medyo maglisod ka og tubag, especially kung gikulbaan ka, di ba? Personal advice lang din ako, especially kung makulbaan mo or magkalisod mo, it would really add plus points if you smile when you speak. Kay mausad na ang gi-comment. That was one of the positive comments of my tutor sa review center during my speaking practices. She told me nga, ganahan ko no kaayo siya sa akong speaking exam kay magnisi ko no ko while magstorya. I think that it would just help make the interviewer feel at ease with you and feel more comfortable while being in a conversation with you. And if lisod gani ang question, ayaw mo garatol dayon. Because you can say something like, I apologize sir or ma'am if I'm not very knowledgeable about the topic, but I can talk about this and that. So chika na dayon mo sa other topic nga inyuhang nahibaw-an which may not directly answer the question but at least related siya bisan gamay lang. Because the IELTS speaking exam is not really a test of your intellect, but it tests how well you can keep up with the conversation with other people. For my general tips, practice, practice, and practice. There are so many online exams which you can use for that. Number 2, follow instructions very carefully. Number 3, make sure nga sakto inyong spelling kay wrong you die. Yes. And of course, number 4, pray. You can also enroll in a review center. In my case, I enrolled in J. Rue's Review Center, which is located at Osmania Boulevard. Ni-enroll ko ato kay I was working as a Cebuano reporter for 4 years. Feel lang ko medyo natayan na gid ako ang English ato nga time. And the main advantages of enrolling in a review center is that first, you get immediate feedback, especially for the writing and the speaking exam. Number 2, you get to feel the pressure of the actual exam environment because the review center holds mock tests from time to time. And for me, worth it ra gyud ang akong pag-enroll sa review center kay I got an overall band score of 8 sa akong exam, which is a good one. Since taas-taas naman gyud ang atong chika, di na lang ko mo elaborate on the visa application. But you have to remember nga, you must book an online appointment with VFS Global Center located at Keppel Building so that they can advise you on which visa to apply for and your needed requirements. Usually, once you've paid the fee and you've submitted all the requirements, they are going to email you a notification about your medical exam schedule. And then once you're all cleared, ang imo na lang yung buhaton is to pray nga ma-approve ang inyong visa. O siya, taas-taas naman gyud ang atong gitsikahan mo adto sa ako kay magbantay pa ko sa akong anak. Don't forget to like, share this video, and of course, subscribe to my channel. This has been Andy. Bye!